It has been nearly 3 years since Dunn testified before the January 6th committee and pleaded for Congress to hold the former president accountable for the Capitol attack. Now he and his fellow officers are taking matters into their own hands by campaigning alongside Joe Biden in key battleground states. I would like to welcome Harry Dunn, an officer who defended the Capitol on January 6th, a true patriot. His latest book, Standing My Ground, a Capitol Police Officer's Fight for Accountability and Good Trouble After January 6th, is out. Now, Harry, thank you so much for being here. Following yesterday's remarks outside the courthouse, that wasn't a one and done. You are now officially part of the Biden campaign. What made you do this, and where are you going from here?
Hey, Stephanie, it's so good to be with you again. You're right. It definitely wasn't a one and done. We got a long way to go until November, and I'm all in to do whatever it takes to elect Joe Biden.
You showed up for work on January 6th, 2021, a day nothing could prepare you for, where rioters were chanting the N-word at you. You stayed on the force for 2 more years before you resigned and got into politics yourself. You have been begging for this country, for our justice system, for lawmakers to hold Donald Trump accountable, to hold Republicans who've denied January 6th accountable. What has this emotional journey been like for you?
It's been incredible. And I know that's a very broad term, with good, bad. I've just been all over the place. I used to play football, so I love the term, you leave it all on the field. And I'll do whatever I can do to my last breath to do whatever it takes to try to stop Donald Trump, to not just stop Donald Trump. He's the threat right now, the biggest threat to our democracy, but just to stand up for what's right. To serve my country. And I did that for the last 15 plus years as a Capitol Police officer. And now I'm just doing what's next, whatever I can do to step into the fight, to continue to fight the preservation of our democracy and the preservation of our Constitution.
You just ended your run for Congress in Maryland. What did you learn about voter priorities? What do they want?
Well, it's no question at all that democracy is at the top of the ballot. Obviously, people are talking about the economy too. But what I could talk about firsthand experience is the threat to democracy, and just being a former congressional candidate. That's why I ran. Honestly, like I said, if January 6th didn't happen, then America would not know who I am right now. But I just stepped up and I met the moment, and that moment is still ongoing. And what's been my message all along is that democracy is not a spectator sport. It's going to take every single person to stand up and do their part. And a lot of people, myself included, maybe at one time has been dependent upon the justice system, the Justice Department to hold Donald Trump accountable for accountability. I just want accountability. But it seems like we can't count on these institutions. These institutions, are only as strong as the people that are occupying them, as you just talked about in your last segment. So what we're going to have to do to stop Donald Trump is we're going to have to do it as voters, as the American people, and defeat him at the ballot box.
I want to ask you about Nikki Haley. She campaigned as a law and order candidate, but she just threw her endorsement behind Donald Trump. What do you make of that decision? And what do you say to her voters who could be critical in November? You're out there talking to voters now almost every day.
Yeah, so one of the things that Nikki Haley said constantly while she was running against Donald Trump is that he is unfit for office. He's mentally unstable, mentally unfit for office. Those are her words. Did he just magically get cured from that? Where did that go? This is the same individual. The same individual that she is supporting now is the same individual that she said those things about. So what changed? What changed? We have a clear choice at the president level in November, and that is Joe Biden. It's very clear which president is going to preserve democracy, which is going to fight for the American people, and who's only going to fight for themselves. And Joe Biden is the one that we need to elect.
What is your message for Donald Trump as you hit these battleground states and Donald Trump supporters who seem to be with him no matter what?
See, that's the thing, Stephanie. Like, these people are with him no matter what. So we need to meet the people that are willing to listen, that actually do believe in democracy, that do believe in country over party, that believe in decency over dictatorship. We need those people. Those are the ones that we're out here trying to reach. Because, like you said, there are Donald Trump supporters that are unwavering and are going to always hold on to his lies no matter what. And there are those individuals, but there are so many more people. Like, I'm out here in Nevada right now, and some of the people that I've got to pronounce that correctly.
I was just about to say, you better watch out. You say Nevada, they're going to kick you out.
That's it. But just talking to some of the people out here, they believe that democracy is on the ballot this year. And like I said, just being out here, being able to talk to voters on the ground in battleground states, in swing states, I just feel like I'm doing my part to continue to tell my story and about what happened on January the 6th and what can happen going forward. Donald Trump has already told us on day one he wants to be a dictator. Like, these are their words that they're saying, Nikki Haley's words, they're Donald Trump's words. These aren't MSNBC talking points. These aren't Biden campaign talking points. Donald Trump has said these things himself. So it's up to us to take it at face value and continue to tell the voters, hey, this is what's at stake right now. And they seem like it's definitely front and center for them.